There's permeability, waterproofing, wind speed. We tapped out their equipment on every test we did. We doubled the pass limits on every test. And then the very last test, it's called a rack and shear test, and it's a hydraulic ram that pushes and pulls a wall, like an earthquake event where the wall goes like this. And the panel didn't break. We ripped the anchors right out of their concrete floor with no failures. So next slide, please. This was the very first house that we did in the Caribbean. This went to Haiti in 2009. We trained one guy from a church group, and this was built in 10 days. They'd never built anything before. This has now survived a couple of hurricanes, earthquakes. It's now the, what would you call it? Like a survival center for the village. Everyone runs to this and gets inside. Next slide, please. Oh, the whole thing fitted in the back of a container, by the way. This is in Exuma, Bahamas. Cute house, about 1,600 square feet. This has been through Joaquin, Matthew, Irma, Dorian, and Isaias with no damage. 5 hurricanes. Dorian was the worst on American record so far. The owner, right after Dorian, I couldn't reach him. And a week later, he walked through the door here, and I was really worried. And I said, "I'm glad you're okay. How's the house?" And he said, "House is fantastic. I want another one." So we got quite well known. FEMA have actually been there and seen this. Next slide, please. This is what happened after Hurricane Irma in the U.S. Virgin Islands. It was devastating to the island. Next slide, Sharon. This was our sales office. This was the island I'd actually chosen to build my vacation home on, which I never did. I got busy and never slept in this one. So it became a sales office. This has survived a whole bunch of hurricanes. Next slide, please. This is right after Maria. The gutter, which we didn't supply, this was an aftermarket gutter. This got damaged on the corners. The solar panels are still intact. They didn't release from the roof. Next slide, please. The wind was so strong, it pushed over round telephone and power poles without doing damage to the house. And a round shape is like the perfect shape to split the wind. It peeled off the aftermarket metal roofing, no damage to the house, no structural damage. Next slide, please. This is before Irma. Here's our little house here. Here's the structure, a wood-framed house across the street. After Irma, this is a 1,500 square foot house, completely shattered. All we got was the peeled off metal roof. Next slide, please.